Welcome back, everybody. Here with Keaton Beck, just an outstanding basketball player from Division Two. Played for Laconia, scored a lot of points. Welcome, Keaton. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Really good, man. So I just wanted to first start out talking to you about like how you first started playing sports.
So I used to live in Illinois, and me and my brother used to never play sports. But when we moved to New Hampshire, I was in first grade. I went to Guilford. I didn't play any sports, but my brother got to play sports. So then we moved to Laconia in second grade, and in Laconia to play basketball, you would need to be second grade or higher. So we have a little rec league called Label. So it kind of like starts everybody off in the same circuit, and you'd get to grow up with the players as you go on.
Pretty cool. So what brought you from Illinois to New Hampshire?
So my grandma moved up here, and in Illinois, we're kind of like looking for jobs. So we have like a family-owned business up here. So my mom moved up here for the family-owned business, and she just works up here now.
Awesome. So when you first got here, I know you were super young, but what was your overall feeling of New Hampshire once you got here and got like the impression of it?
Um, I would say it was kind of overwhelming because you're moving to a whole new state and you barely know anybody. So you're kind of like starting from like a new sheet. It's not like if you were to move a different town in New Hampshire, you'd at least know some people from like the teams you face or something like that. But I didn't know anybody. I was kind of like the odd kid out because I was a lot taller than everyone else too. So they kind of looked at me like a weirdo. But I got along with other people and I went to make friends.
So when you first started playing here, was that like a good way for you to make friends?
Yeah, I would say I think I got mostly all my friends from sports and basketball. And then later on, they started knowing me from sports. And then I connected to the people who didn't play sports so much.
All right, so was basketball the only thing you ever tried, or did you play other sports as well?
I played other sports, like I played football, baseball for a little bit, and then I did lacrosse. So those are about it. But then I stopped playing baseball freshman year, and then I moved to lacrosse. And then senior year, I went to track.
Okay. So for you, why was there all those changes with the spring sports?
Because between the two sports with football and basketball, I knew those were kind of more locked in. And while spring was kind of like, it was always AAU. So I would have to be doing multiple things. So I kind of just tested out spring sports and like we won the championship for lacrosse. And then I played another year. And I was like, all right. I kind of suffered an injury between it too. So going between AAU and lacrosse. So then I decided to kind of take an off year and do track while still being active because my mom does not let me not play any sports. I have to always stay active. So I just did track.
It's a good thing. So for you, with all these different sports, you feel like it helped to develop different muscle groups, or just some of the benefits of doing that?
I would say most definitely. Before coming in high school, I never lifted, but I was able to have like enough muscle from the everyday activity between the sports to at least compete with some of the kids I was playing against.
All right. I think I'm going to have you hone in a little bit more on basketball now. So just talk about like the process of development from being a young kid all the way up to, being a senior in high school and just the outstanding player that you'd become.
I would say like with the label thing, they kind of just like work on the fundamentals and stuff like that. And then with label, you can try out for this all-star team that like travels from town to town, city to city, and you get to play other people, and you're more locked in with a team instead of people who are given to you. Like you play with the best of the league. So then after that, that kind of got me into AAU with traveling. I started out with Cap City, and then I moved to One Dream, which was a good program. I ended up traveling farther places, and then I ended up moving to Storm for my last AAU team.
So all the different AAU teams, do you feel like they all built like on different skills or like had like different philosophies, or maybe one worked on one group with things and another worked on group things?
Yeah, most definitely. I would say like for Cap City, every time we got out for practice, we'd have to do like 30 minutes of dribbling drills. And in Laconia, it's kind of like we don't really have any big guards to dribble the ball. Like they just want the guards to pass the ball. So being able to play Cap City kind of exposed me to dribbling a little bit. So we're just not panicked when I have the ball in my hand or something like that. So it's kind of like a escape.
Uh, so, how was basketball for you when you first got to middle school? Like, did you know that you were getting pretty good at it and that you had a chance to be really good in high school?
Yes, and kind of no. Like we were we were always dominating, but I was always told that when it's high school, it's going to be a different story because just because I'm tall and I can get rebounds and put it back into the hoop, it was kind of easy in middle school, especially eighth grade year, because we were 30 and 0. But they were like, as soon as you get to high school, it's going to be different. You can't just get rebounds and just put it back in the hoop. You're not going to be able to score like that anymore. So I have to find a different way. So it was kind of freshman year playing with my brother. It was kind of an eye opener, I would say.
So for you, your freshman year, there was like a bizarre situation, right? Because the whole COVID thing was going on. So what was that season like for you?
It was kind of a rough season. Because how the divisions did it. Well, at least in Division Two, I'm not for sure. Everyone else they had bubbles, so we had to like play teams that are near us. So it would be like you play this team twice, home and away, and you play that team twice, home and away, and then it was kind of weird because you never seen the other side of the bracket. So when we end up facing Leb, we were like, oh, we know nothing about these guys, so we had to watch film. And everyone that we faced also didn't play the guys because they were in our bubble. So and we just had to wear a mask. And when you play basketball, you start sweating and it just like all gets clogged up in the mask. So you just have to change mask like every quarter, every timeout. It was bad.
Yeah, that's a tough experience. So that's got to make you appreciate just, I guess, the new normal a little bit more when you get back to the games and you actually have fans who don't have to wear masks in future seasons. So for you, how'd you do your freshman year and how'd the team do as a whole?
My freshman year, I think I did decent. I remember first game I ever got into, we were facing Kennett. And there was like 3 seconds on the clock. I tried dribbling. I thought I could make a full court shot, end up hitting the Raptors up top. Kind of embarrassing, but through the season, I built team chemistry because I knew some of the guys because my brother used to always play with them, like with the All Star team and stuff like that. So the chemistry was good, and we ended up making it to the Final Four and losing by like I think only like 11 points, 10 points, something like that. But for my freshman year, it was more just like a role of getting rebounds and giving it to the older guys and let them do the work.
You see an increase in minutes during your sophomore year?
Yeah, during my sophomore year, hmm, yeah, I kind of stepped up because we didn't really have any other bigs. Because after my brother's senior year, we graduated like three bigs, four bigs. So earning the minutes was there, but he wasn't. My coach wasn't always afraid to take me out. So he could like at any second he could take me out if I made a mistake. But I just had to prove myself to stay in the game.
Do you feel like at that point, offense or defense was coming along quicker for you?
I feel like more offense.
All right.
Like every practice we had post move drills. So just applying that to the game made offense stand out more than my defense.
All right. So for you, how do you develop your game defensively? Because you became a really good player at both in the end.
Um, it started off with our coach doing this thing called Kobe slides. So it's like where you have the offense person with the ball dribbling in zigzags, and as a defender, you have to like cut them off and get by them and stuff like that. And also, my brother, he was kind of more of for defense, so I mostly learned everything from him too.
Right. Awesome. So how did the team do your sophomore year?
Sophomore year, we made it to the playoffs, but we got was a first round exit. We didn't do too hot. I think we were like the last seed. We faced Sauhegan, and we kind of got rolled by them. But seeing that, it brought a passion because I think we only graduated three seniors that year. So we us as a team, we had to develop more for the next year. But it was overall a good season.
All right. So for you entering your junior year, your expectations a little bit higher.
Most definitely. Because Caden Roberts, my guard, me and him had to develop because originally he was like 2 grades above me, then he moved down a grade. So we had to build more of like a duo and stuff like that. Like there was still other people on the team, but the other team just like to hone in on us. So if we can't get the ball moving around, we'll give it to the our other teammates and they'll score too. But as that's what our coach told us going into it, and that people are going to be locked in on us too. But if we can work as a team, like it just wouldn't be about us two, and we can move the ball. That's I think that's how we got into the Final Four, but end up choking at the end because we were kind of more panicked.
Who'd you guys lose to?
Said what?
Who'd you end up losing to at the end of that season?
Pelham. We ended up losing to Pelham over in Sanborn.
Not bad. They were the state champs, so
Yeah.
that's a pretty good team. So for you entering your senior season, it's like this is it I do. So what was like the mentality? Was there a little bit of difference with you and your off season training over that summer?
Yes. I was in the gym every day because I I was shocked when I got Player of the Year. So my coach told me that people don't think I deserved it. So now I'm gonna have a huge target on my back. So I'd have to train even harder and be better than I was my junior year. So I always kept that in the back of my mind that there's always a bigger fish in the pond. So the harder I trained, the less likely people would think I didn't deserve it. So I'd have to try proving it to them.
Right. So what did that honor mean for you to get player of the year?
I was really shocked because I feel like there was definitely other good players in the league. So when finding out the news, my mom like congratulated me and stuff like that, and everyone I knew congratulated me. Like even people in my school that didn't even know me congratulated me. So it was actually a huge eye opener on what I can do for Laconia.
All right. So moving on to the next thing, I guess. So just your senior season, maybe share with us some of your favorite memories of favorite games from this year, and you can add in other years as well if you want.
Favorite games was probably Kennett. I scored my 1,000th point, but everyone doesn't even like talk about the 1,000 points. Like sometimes they do, but they just talk about like, oh, Keaton, you airballed the three. So the whole like I guess running joke of my high school career is that I never hit a three before in my high school career. So I tried attempting three threes, trying to end off my 1,000 points because I was 3 point left. So I ended up scoring a layup and hitting a free throw. But I guess that was just a fun night. The energy was there. I would say it was packed. The stands were like very packed. But my favorite game was probably Merrimack Valley junior year for it was in the playoffs. People a whole lot of people came in. Like I think basically half of Laconia came to support us. Like the stands were packed. People were sitting on the ground. People were standing by the entrances. But I would say that was like the first time I played in like a true crowd and I felt the energy.
Awesome. So for you now, like towards the end of the season, it's like, okay, this is it. How do you feel about the team going into the playoffs this year?
Uh I was kind of worried this year because my two guards, they're both seniors, they had gotten injuries. My friend Rowan messed up his knee pretty badly against Pelham after he just recovered from it. So, and we had some young guards coming in, but it was just like believing in the team. All you had to do is like trust the team, and I felt pretty confident with the people we're rolling with going into it because Carson was on the fence. We got news that he like hurt. He also hurt his knee. Like he was like growing a lump in it, so it also worried me. But we just had to roll what we had.
All right. So when your career ended, what were your just final thoughts and takeaways? Because obviously it's emotional. It's sad to see your career end, and it's, you're always going to have a connection with your high school and your friends and everything. But like in that moment, did you feel like good about the way that you had done it because you had achieved a lot in that point in time and still have, just moving on to the next chapter?
Yeah, thinking about it was kind of sad because our season ended off on a buzzer beater, which was pretty shocking. Like, I don't really get too emotional anymore. I don't know what it is, but just like thinking back, I did have a good run. Hopefully, I left an impact on like the future generations. That's what I take away from it. Like, as long as I taught someone else below me to like try doing better and like actually work harder, I feel like I left a good mark on Laconia State basketball.
Absolutely, certainly did. So for you now, what's next year look like in terms of where you're going and what you're going to be studying and everything?
I'm going to RPI, Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute, for computer science, but I want to do a dual major with IT also. I'm going to be playing for the basketball team there, the Division Three in the Liberal League.
All right. So what's your interest with computer science and all the IT stuff?
I would say because I guess the future is moving more into technology, and I'm more, I like computers, I guess, better than other jobs instead of like having to physically do work. That sounds lazy, but I feel like I'm better with computers than just labor.
Hey, it makes sense. So for you in the future, do you see yourself after, basketball's over in college doing like a career with that, but also coaching on the side? Or what do you think that looks like?
I probably wouldn't be like getting a full gig with coaching, but if I'd probably pop back in and out in Laconia, like giving some helpful tips, like those random old guys that come in and just be like, "Oh, I remember playing here once. Like that's my name on that banner." I'll probably hop in a few times, give a few tips here and there, but I might be an assistant coach, but I probably wouldn't go as far as a head coach.
So after college, do you think you want to move back to New Hampshire or try something else?
Um, I'd probably stay in New Hampshire. I'd probably move to a different town though, because thinking about it, like it's hot now. I don't think I can go any farther south. I might die from heat exhaustion, but it'd either be that or moving to the west. I would say like Oregon, something like that.
All right, cool. What's your
Something like
advice
that.
for people out there who are in the younger generation who look up at you, great career that you've had in high school and want to replicate that themselves?
I would say life is kind of like a story and stuff like that. Like your basketball career is like a story. You're never gonna get anything out of it copying from other people's pages. You kind of have to write your own story. Like each experience is like a chapter, like a page in your book. So I would just say you can take tidbits from like other people and you can apply it to your game, but I just wouldn't set on being that one person and trying to replicate them. Like add some of it, some of your own specialty to it.
I appreciate your time, Keaton. Thanks for coming on. I enjoyed talking to you.
Thank you, you too.